نمشي. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تمسك بسنته إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. So in continuing discussing the book Al-Arba'in An-Nawawee that covers just over 40 hadith by Imam An-Nawawee rahimahullah. So in our last session that we had covered concerning hadith number 9, hadith At-Tasa, and today we'll be starting to discuss concerning hadith Al-Ashir. So we'll be starting discussing the 10th hadith in this particular collection by Imam An-Nawawee rahimahullah. So as is a normal routine that we'll first go through concerning mention the hadith, but in Arabic can also be translated. Then after, we discuss concerning takhrij of the hadith, then the meaning of the hadith, discuss something about the sahabi if it's not been mentioned before, and then we discuss concerning the hadith in more details regarding of those ahkam and fawahid that can be taken from the hadith. So in starting concerning at one, regarding concerning discuss or mention the hadith, so he mentioned hadith al-ashir, and he mentioned concerning that an Abi Hurairah radhiyallahu anhu قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إن الله تعالى طيب لا يقبل إلا طيبا وإن الله تعالى أمر المؤمنين بما أمر به المؤمنين المرسلين فقال تعالى يا أيها الرسل كلوا من الطيبات ما وعملوا الصالحات وقال تعالى يا أيها الذين آمنوا كلوا من طيبات ما رزقناكم ثم ذكر رجل يطيل السفر أشعث أكبر يمد يديه إلى السماء يا رب يا رب ومطعمه حرام ومشربه حرام وملبسه حرام وغذي بالحرام فأنى يستجاب لذلك رواه مسلم. So this is the hadith that is mentioned as being the 10th hadith. We'll translate the hadith and then we'll discuss those points that relate to the hadith. وبأمر الله تعالى. تفضل.
Contentment with good and lawful. On the authority of Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, that he said, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, surely Allah the Exalted is good and only accepts that which is good. Allah has ordered the believers that which He has ordered the messengers, and He the Exalted said, O messengers, eat of the lawful food and do righteous deeds. And He the Exalted said, O you believe, eat from the lawful foods that we have provided for you. Then he mentioned a man who, having travelled far, is disheveled and dusty. He stretches his hands to the sky, saying, my Lord, while his food is unlawful, his drink is unlawful, his clothes are unlawful, and he is nourished unlawfully. So how can his supplication be accepted? Related by Muslim.
So that's the translation of the hadith, which is the 10th hadith in this collection. And first of those things that he mentioned, that we'll mention regarding concerning that the rawi of the hadith was Abu Hurairah radhiyallahu anhu, that we had previously mentioned concerning some matters pertaining to this rawi, to the Sahabi Abu Hurairah before. So that was mentioned before. So we won't repeat concerning matters relating to Abu Hurairah radhiyallahu anhu, other than concerning that, as we mentioned, his name is Abdul Rahman ibn Sakhr al-Dawsi. So regarding as his name, that Jumhur of the ulama, that they have the view, take the position that his name is Abdul Rahman ibn Sakhr al-Dawsi. So that's concerning the Sahabi, and I will mention that one of those who are of the this hadith, this Sahabi is the one, this Sahabi that is the one who have narrated most of the hadith that we have. So regarding of those regarding narrating many hadith, Abu Hurairah anhu, he stands as being the most, let me say, most of the hadith compared to other companions. Then as for the hadith, the next matter discussed at the end of the hadith, he mentioned Rawahu Muslim. So he mentioned regarding concerning this hadith, Rawahu Muslim. So Muslim, Imam, meaning concerning Rawahu Muslim, regarding Imam Muslim. So Imam Muslim, one of the collectors of hadith, and also that Imam Muslim rahimullah, that is even more renowned based upon that his particular collection of hadith that is referred and mentioned as Sahih Muslim, that is said to be one of the most authentic books of hadith. So after Bukhari, then it's considered to be one of the most authentic books, a collection of hadith after of the collection of Imam Bukhari rahimahullah. So Imam Muslim rahimahullah, that as mentioned, he mentioned here, Rawahu Muslim. So that's not per se mentioned concerning the book of the author, but does mention the name of the author, mention the name of the collector of that book. Before we go to concerning Muslim, that it is stated regarding Takhrij of the hadith, he mentioned that Al-Busiri, he mentioned with Tirmidhi, that a hadith also is collected by Imam At-Tirmidhi rahimahullah in his Al-Jami' Al-Kabir. So Imam At-Tirmidhi, alongside with Imam Muslim, also have narrated this particular hadith. So as for what we mentioned, started regarding Imam Muslim rahimahullah, that is particular collection of hadith, and is considered to be the second most authentic collection of hadith after Sahih al-Bukhari. So as for Imam Muslim rahimahullah, that the book or the name of the book that he wrote, so the book that he wrote, what's the actual name of this book? So you have a discussion regarding concerning some of the books of hadith, regarding the hadith books, that they are more known, they are more popular regarding the name of the author rather than the actual name of the book itself. And sometimes you might find this situation. So regarding concerning that Imam Muslim rahimahullah, a discussion between the ulama of hadith regarding what's the actual name given this collection, what's the actual name of the book authored by Imam or collected by Imam Muslim. What's the name of this book of hadith that has been collected by Imam Muslim rahimahullah? So you have several views that are mentioned between the ulama. Of the ulama who mentioned that the actual name of the book of Imam Muslim rahimahullah that they mentioned is called Al-Musnad. Of those who mentioned the book is called Al-Musnad. Second, of those who mentioned the name also is concerning Al-Musnad As-Sahih. So the actual name of the book of Muslim, Imam Muslim rahimahullah, some mention one, Al-Musnad. Second view that is mentioned, that actual name of the Muslim book is referred to as Al-Musnad As-Sahih. Then you have another, a third is called, or they mentioned As-Sahih Muslim. Some of the ulama mention that it is called As-Sahih, and some mention As-Sahih, and also some mention Sahih Muslim. And of those, Ibn Hajar, concerning that Ibn Kathir, An-Nawawee, and Ibn Athir, that they are more referred to the book of Imam Muslim as As-Sahih or Sahih Muslim. Then the fourth of those views that mentions the actual name of Imam Muslim collection, that is the name that they refer to as, that they said it is Al-Musnad As-Sahih Al-Mukhtasar. So the actual name of Imam Muslim book, Al-Musnad As-Sahih Al-Mukhtasar من السنن بنقل عدل عن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. So that's after name, that's a more lengthy name. So the ulama that I've mentioned that concerning for, they mentioned that the name of Imam Muslim collection is called Al-Musnad. So again, Al-Musnad As-Sahih Al-Mukhtasar من السنن بنقل العدل عن العدل and Rasulillahi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that seemed to be the more correct name. That fourth view that we mentioned last, that seemed to be the more correct name of the collection of Imam Muslim that we refer to as Sahih Muslim. And we mentioned that also regarding the collection of Imam Muslim, that country are different from that of those things that is somewhat his approach is somewhat different from him, that of Imam Bukhari, that Imam Muslim rahimahullah, that in his collection, in his Sahih, that he has, the book is in two parts. So the book of Imam Muslim rahimahullah is in two parts. The first section of the book is an muqaddimah, is an introduction. So he has an introduction that he discussed concerning certain matters regarding, matters regarding ilmul hadith, regarding of certain criteria to look out for regarding a narrator and the likes. Then he mentioned the main part of the book, that is the majority of the book. Then he mentioned the second part is the actual collection regarding a hadith, going back to the Prophet Islam on various topics. So Imam Muslim rahimahullah, he have an introduction. Imam Bukhari rahimahullah does not have an introduction. He goes straight into the book. Also Imam Muslim rahimahullah, regarding his collection, regarding his system as to how he ordered his book of Al-Muslim As-Sahih, that Imam Muslim rahimahullah, also that he can somewhat, he mentioned hadith with his full length. So when he mentioned hadith, he mentioned the hadith with his full wording, without per se mention the hadith, as they say, summarize. So he does not summarize hadith, but rather he mentioned the hadith with his full wording, and also he'll mention the various wording of the hadith. So those are the things that Imam Muslim rahimahullah in his Sahih that it is noted for. So the next of those matters to be discussed regarding concerning this hadith, as mentioned in Sahih Muslim, and it's not of those hadith that is also collected in Bukhari. So this hadith is not found in Sahih al-Bukhari. But rather in Kutubu Sitta, it is found in At-Tirmidhi. It is found with Imam At-Tirmidhi rahimahullah in his Al-Jami' al-Kabir. The next of those matters that we'll discuss concerning that the general meaning of the hadith. So the general meaning of so the general meaning of this particular or before then, concerning that, what have been mentioned by the ulama regarding the importance of this hadith, concerning the status of this hadith, that of the ulama have mentioned concerning Abu Dawood rahimahullah as-Sijistani, that he mentioned nadartu fil hadith al-musnad, that he mentioned I looked into, investigated regarding a hadith al-musnad, hadith that goes back to the Prophet ﷺ, فَإِذَا هُوَ أَرْبَ آلَافٍ, and they amount to over 4,000 hadith. ثُمَّ نَظَرْتُ فَإِذَا مَدَارَ الْعَرْبَ, then said when I look again, investigate regarding this number of over 4,000, that they kind of somewhat, that they revolved around 4 hadith, that they revolve around 4 hadith. That they mention فَالْمَدَارَ أَرْبَ آلَافٍ على 4 hadith. So these 4,000 that they revolve around 4 main hadith, or they can be summarized into 4 hadith. Then they mention those hadith being al-halal bayn wal-haram bayn, and also of those hadith he mentioned the hadith that is being discussed. So he mentioned as one of those hadith that these 4,000 hadith that they can be summarized into 4 hadith, then this hadith is one of those 4. As for the meaning of the hadith in general, in summary, that this hadith is that the mawdu' of the hadith is that it could discuss concerning the importance of the person, the importance regarding eating of the use of thing which is halal. So of the mawdu', the topic of this hadith is to discuss concerning the importance of the person, that the person make use, and concerning his sustenance, his livelihood is from sources which is halal, and also that the person make use of those things which is halal and to avoid things that are haram. And at the end of the hadith, he can somewhat stipulate regarding that this is taken of things which is making use of things which is haram, that this can have an impact on a person's act of ibadat. So a haram can block the person's act of ibadat from being acceptable. So the hadith can somewhat discuss concerning the importance of making use of those things which is halal regarding the person's sustenance and the thing the person uses regarding his day-to-day life. Then also this command is a command that's been established from the Anbiya from before and still continue until today, that a person make use and to benefit from those things which is halal and to avoid those things that are haram. So that's the mawdu' of this particular hadith. So as for the hadith regarding concerning of some matter that goes into tafseel of the hadith, of the benefits that can be taken, as in the hadith it mentioned concerning, then also of the hadith also that it starts concerning by stating inna allaha tayyibun, that indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is tayyib, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pure, wala yuqbal illa tayyib, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pure and only accept that which is pure. So from this they mention of those things that can be taken from this sentence, that it can somewhat discuss concerning that regarding concerning that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pure, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pure. So they mention inna Allah tayyib, and the word at-tayyib, that they mention that in the Quran that it carries various meanings. So the word tayyib can carry various meaning in the Quran. So at times that we might find that the meaning of the word at-tayyib, something being pure, it means halal. So at times the word tayyib, what is intended by this meaning is halal. As mentioned, قُلْ لَا يَسْتَوِي الْخَبِيثُ وَالطَّيِّبُ. So it mentioned, قُلْ لَا يَسْتَوِي الْخَبِيثُ وَالطَّيِّبُ. So the word at-tayyib concerns, they're making a comparison, that is it equal, say, to the Prophet Muhammad and to the people, are they equal, that which is khabith, that thing which is said to be evil, and that thing which is at-tayyib, that thing which is good. So regarding so in this case is regarding concerning at-tayyib in this particular ayah in Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse 100, the word at-tayyib, it means halal. It means that which is halal. And also I mentioned فَانْكِحُوا مَا طَابَ لَكُمْ مِنَ النِّسَاءِ. Also again in Surah An-Nisa verse 3 mentioned فَانْكِحُوا meaning concerning and to wed, مَا طَابَ لَكُمْ concerning taba meaning concerning those things which is halal. So the word taba meaning concerning those female that is allowed for you to marry. So it shows regarding that the word meaning concerning taba from tib meaning concerning that matter which is halal. Also so regarding concerning that matter regarding which is halal as known concerning those things which is been made legal in Islam that we can partake of those things. So the opposite in that case will be haram. Then another meaning that the word at-tayyib takes on also concerning al-jayd min al-halal, those things which is also above that of halal. So those things that are above that of halal, which is those things which is very good, those things that are good and as mentioned by subhanahu wa ta'ala by sentence قُلْ مَنْ حَرَّمَ زِينَةُ اللَّهِ الَّتِي أَخْرَجَ لِعِبَادِهِ وَالطَّيِّبَاتِ مِنَ الرِّزْقِ. So concerning this matter, concern that in this context, the ulama mentioned Surah Al-A'raf that the word at-tayyibat min al-rizq concerning of those things that is above halal. So those things regarding of the tayyibat, those things that are very wholesome and good concerning from the person's sustenance. So it shows regarding that also the word at-tayyibat in this instant meaning concerning those things above that of halal. And as ulama rahimahullah have mentioned regarding concerning that as for thing which is said to be halal, so those matters that are said to be halal, that they tafawut, they are on different degrees, just as concerning thing which is haram on different levels. So you find that thing which is halal, tafawut, so you find of those things which is halal, but also of a standard higher than that which is the basic or the norm. Also regarding the ulama, I've mentioned regarding these things that are said to be halal and things that are said to be haram, that is not something which is in most cases in the Sharia that is left concerning for people to make their own personal judgment. So regarding halal and haram is not per se left for each individual to make their personal judgment, but rather the Sharia have given us concerning that of clarify regarding that which is halal and that which is haram, so as to remove any form of people remove any form of confusion based upon people regarding what they may see to be halal allowed and what is to be haram, that people mind and how they view things, and also society that these things may look at these things differently. And as we have seen in today regarding these things which are considered to be in a few years back to be completely haram and detestable, and now in certain countries those things are considered to be thing which is halal according to them, halal in their context, but to say the concern of thing which is permissible in their eyes, that in most part regarding concerns of us in Islam regarding concerning certain type of marriages that takes place today, that in Islam is completely haram regarding concerning same gender marriages in Islam is haram. But a few years back it was something which was, as they would say, tabooed, but now in certain societies now something which is somewhat considered to be acceptable, not even acceptable, but also it becomes something which is now a part of the law. You have to accept this. It becomes now a part of the law that you have to accept certain type of behavior and practices that many before that may not accept. Then I mentioned regarding concerning that as again concerning the word at-tayyib also can take on a meaning concerning something being tahir, something being pure. So also the word at-tayyib can also take the meaning of being something which is tahir. As mentioned, كُلُوا مِمَّا فِي الْأَرْضِ حَلَالًا طَيِّبًا. كُلُوا مِمَّا فِي الْأَرْضِ حَلَالًا طَيِّبًا. So concern that those matters regarding that those things of the which is halal and tayyiba. So the word halal and tayyib being used together. So concerning halal meaning permissible, regarding concerning that, and tayyib regarding things that we can eat from the earth, meaning concerning that tayyib meaning tahir. So those things that are tahir, pure, and that concerning the word at-tayyiba mean the word tahir. So you find that the word carry various meaning depending on the context, and also at times the word at-tayyib can also mean al-mu'min. The word at-tayyib also can take on the meaning of being what is understood or taken as the meaning as being a believer. As mentioned, حتى تميز الخبيث من الطيب. حتى يميز al-khabith min al-tayyib. So it shows regarding concerning al-khabith are the al-tayyib are the Muslim, the Muslim. So you find that it carries different meaning depending on the context. So the word al-tayyib may carry different meaning based upon the context in which it's being used. So the person to kind of somewhat to look and to ponder and take into consideration the context in which this word is being used and use the appropriate meaning accordingly. So also the different meaning regarding as to what is said to be the various meaning that the word at-tayyib can take on. So as for what is intended in this context, as I mentioned, inna Allaha tayyibun. So regarding concerning that describing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as being tayyib. So in this context, meaning concerning inna Allaha tayyib, it means concerning that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala being tayyib, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is free from any form of deficiency. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala being tayyib in this context, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is free from any form of imperfection and deficiency and things that are unbefitting. So that's concerning the meaning of inna Allaha tayyib. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is free and removed from any form of imperfection, any form of fault, and the likes. So that's concerning in this context. In discussing concerning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is being mentioned or being described as being tayyib, as being pure. That you find concern that a matter discussed between the ulama is concerning hal tayyib, as the word at-tayyib, is this one of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala named as tayyib? So it's from the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at-tayyib. So with that concern that it is mentioned regarding concerning a khilaf between the ulama. So you might find that in this context is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be referred or to be named as at-tayyib. Inna Allaha tayyibun. So does it mean concerning that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that of his name is tayyib? Then on this discussion between the ulama, that they have a difference between the ulama regarding Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala being named as at-tayyib. Meaning concerning a person that so it as we mentioned is a difference between the ulama regarding on the discussion regarding is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is tayyib one of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is you find that of the ulama who hold that of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's name is at-tayyib. From the amongst the ulama of those who hold that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is of his name is at-tayyib. And they mentioned regarding concerning that this is taken and of the view taken, and they use this hadith. And they use this hadith to just to substantiate their position. And of those who align or incline towards this view, Ibn Manda, and Ibn Manda rahimahullah, of those of a book in concerning matters concerning Aqidah, Kitab al-Tawheed, also Ibn al-Arabi, al-Ma'rifah, so Ibn al-Arabi, al-Maliki, also, and they mention that Ibn Usaymin, rahimahullah, jamihan. So those of the ulama who do of the incline toward the view that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that of his name is at-tayyib. So of the name at-tayyib being the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then also we find another group of the ulama who have taken a position that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that at-tayyib is not from amongst the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So of the ulama who have taken the position that at-tayyib is not of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they use this hadith as their proof. So both use the same hadith as their proof, and I mentioned concerning of the proof concerning that this hadith, and they said that the proof that is inna Allah tayyib, in a sense of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is described as tayyib. So if they place this at tayyib as amongst the sifat, the description of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not from the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they see it by way of or understand at-tayyib as being of the sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not from amongst the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's concerning, and of those who, and many of the ulama have taken that position, many have taken that position, and that seems, Allahu Alam, seems to be the more correct view amongst them amongst the ulama who hold that at-tayyib is from the sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not from the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sufyan ibn Uyayna, Khattabi, Hulaymi, Bayhaqi, Ibn Hazm, Al-Qurtubi, Ibn Qayyim, Ibn Hajar, As-Sadi, and of those ones who have somewhat written or discussed concerning this particular name. So you have also of contemporary of the ulama, so something that can be looked into further, where you find out of the ulama of contemporary time, or some of the mashaykh of contemporary times, who have written books concerning al-asma, al-usna, wa sifat al-ula. So to see concerning that what's the discussion, but as the in a nutshell, in summary, that regarding At-Tayyib being one of the names or the description of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, majority all that it is from the sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not from the name, but we do find some of the ulama who take the position that of his names is At-Tayyib. And I mentioned after the evidence considered that in this context come as a word as nakira, not al-ma'rifah, that in this hadith that At-Tayyib is mentioned nakira, not as ma'rifah, but overall a discussion between the ulama. Also they mentioned regarding concern this matter that we know the things that are attributed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that either concerning al-asma, al-usna, or sifat al-ula, or al-akhbar. So things that are mentioned regarding Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they fall into one of those three categories. Either thing which is of the abab of sifat, description of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that then also things which are asma, the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and also by way of akhbar meaning concern that words that are used at times mention about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but is not from his name nor from his attributes, but mentioned outside of the name and attribute, but is attributed back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So regarding concern this matter, regarding the mawqif of Ahl Sunnah, so so regarding concerning matter that relate to asma wa sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then a general guideline that is followed by Ahl Sunnah regarding that Ahl Sunnah, as the method of the Salaf al-Salih, Ahl Sunnah wal Athar, following the path and the example of the Salaf al-Salih, that they that concerning matter that relates to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala attributes, they ought to be something which is tawqifiyya. So naming Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, giving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a name, it must come by way of text. And also second, by describing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then also one should have a text. So al-asma wa sifat, in relation to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then the person must do so by way of text. And concerning the yu'min Ahl Sunnah, that they accept and believe in every text that have come to us regarding Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by way of a name or by way of a sifat in a manner befitting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and also in a way which is haqiqi and also al-zahir. So regarding concerning any hadith or ayat that discusses concerning a name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or second, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala description, then Ahl Sunnah, they confirm this lafdan wa mana, based upon the word and also the meaning that that word contains. Also they affirm it concerning which is al-zahiri, that also they take away from what is the apparent meaning that is known in the language of that word. Nam and also with Ahl Sunnah, that they do not fall into ta'til. So Ahl Sunnah regarding names and attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that they do not fall into ta'til, which is negating these names and attributes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Second, at-tahrif, that also do not fall into tahrif, which is concerning that trying to change the meaning of that word from which is the apparent meaning to something else. Also at-tashbih or tamthil, that also they do not per se resemble Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's creation, nor vice versa, resemble the creation with the creator. So Ahl Sunnah do not fall into tamthil or /tashbih. And also fourth, that they do not fall into a takyif. So they avoid concerning takyif, which is asking how. Asking concerning how is that description if it is not mentioned. So the description is not mentioned, but the word is given. So we understand the word and the meaning, but without asking concerning how is this description. For example, ala sabil al-mithal an-nuzul, that we don't ask concerning how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala descends. Then we affirm concerning an-nuzul in a manner befitting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but without questioning and asking concerning how is this description? How is this description of the nuzul of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Then that is not to be done. So Ahl Sunnah avoid those four things: ta'til, tahrif. Ta'til is negating of those sifats. We find that some of those who claim Islam, that they have negate all of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asma wa sifat, and some negate the sifat, and others negate this, and others negate this based upon their own intellect. So Ahl Sunnah concerning ta'til wa tahrif wa tashbih wa tamthil, and also takyif. Ahl Sunnah do not per se enter in that discussion. Ahl Sunnah, that they avoid those four things. So regarding the question of anything that has been discussed by, been mentioned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then we accept it. So you might find that certain of those descriptions that have been mentioned regarding Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that some might find that very difficult to accept. Aynain, regarding Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Yadain, As-Saq, regarding Ash-Shin, and the likes of those things that have been mentioned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then we accept them for what they are. So whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala affirmed to himself, then we affirm them in a manner befitting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but without resembling them with that of the creation, or resembling the creation with the creator. So Ahl Sunnah do not open the door regarding a tashbih wa tamthil. And those who fall into error is because of this. Of those who fell into error is because of them. If they believe, concerning from the Mu'tazila and those from before, that they believe that if we affirm those sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, these descriptions to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then they kind of somewhat, they imagine in their minds that they are likening Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to his creation, that they're making a comparison to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with his creation, so that because of they want now to move away from this, so that they took the path of negating of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sifat. They negate Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sifat, so that they say they jumped out of the fire and jumped in the fire, or jumped in the fire pan into the fire, whatever way. But that's concern of Ahl Ta'atil, that they kind of somewhat, because of them resembling the creator with the creation, that they tried to avoid this, and they fell into negating everything regarding the creator. فالله مستعان. So as mentioned by Al-Mazi rahimahullah al-Maliki قال لا يوصف الله تعالى إلا بما سمى به نفسه, that he mentioned that one should not describe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala except what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mentioned regarding himself. أو سماه به رسوله, or his Messenger alayhi salam have named Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as such. I mentioned أو أجمت عليه الأمة, or the Ummah have agreed upon this. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala names and attributes, it is something which is restricted to text. But whatever have been affirmed, then we accept this lafdan wa mana ala aqiqati. So that's concerning the matter of Ahl Sunnah regarding this matter. And next matter that is derived from this is regarding asma wa sifat. If affirming these matters based upon Hadith al-Ahad, can we affirm to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a name? Can we affirm to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a sifat based upon the narration that have come to us by way of a hadith? It is ahad. Clear? Ahadith, ahad. So you find out some of the ulama that they have categorized a hadith into two types, into two categories. Now, even though concerned that the discussion regarding categorizing hadith into two categories, that you find that people of al-kalam, they went into a lengthy discussion regarding those matters, into beyond what was required. So regarding concerning taqsim al-hadith, into mutawatir ahad, that al-kalam, they went into too much discussion regarding this and confused themselves. And others. So regarding concerning Ahl Sunnah, regarding an Ahl Hadith, in particular regarding that ahadith ahad, that meaning that ahadith ahad and ahadith at-tawatur is by looking at hadith by how it have reached us, by the amount of narrators that have narrated that hadith. Now, so you find that a huge number of people, or a large number, a multiple of people in each level are narrating a hadith, then can be said to be a hadith mutawatir. Because on every level, you find that a large amount of people, or a numerous amount of people, are narrating the same information. And that's on every level. Now from the start to until it reach, you find that a large amount of people, a group of people that are narrating that hadith. And you are aware those people didn't agree to lie upon this matter. So it didn't per se that they agreed to lie regarding the information. So if that hadith is said to be mutawatir by way of the hadith, and also that hadith is something which is, those people either have witnessed that thing themselves, by either seeing it, are witnessing that thing themselves, so they are transmitting information that they all witness as a group. And the same group is also reporting this information until it reach you. That is said to be hadith mutawatir. in nutshell. That's said to be the hadith mutawatir. Then the second type of hadith, and those hadith that are mutawatir are not many in number. A hadith al-mutawatir are not many in number. But they do exist. But they are not many in number. So you find the bulk of the hadith of the Prophet of Islam, they are a hadith ahad. The bulk of the hadith that have been transmitted or reached us or been that we can be found in the books of hadith, that most of those hadith, they are hadith ahad. Meaning hadith ahad, ma lam yabla ad mutawatir. A hadith that have not reached the level of mutawatir. So ahad is a hadith that have not reached the degree of mutawatir. That's hadith ahad. So at times you might find a hadith ahad, but you find in every level maybe 3 person, or 2, or 1. So you find a small amount of people who have narrated that hadith. They are called a hadith ahad. But Ahl Sunnah, based upon the qawaid of Ahl Hadith, that any hadith has been authenticated with ahad or otherwise is said to be maqbool. And whatever rules or information that is within it, it can be used to establish any matter regarding Islam, regarding concerning matter regarding halal and haram, regarding matter concerning aqidah and the likes. So any hadith that have been authenticated by the ulama of hadith who specialize in this field, then the Muslim can accept those hadith. So those hadith can be accepted, and also they can be acted upon. They can be acted upon, and we can derive rulings from them and act upon those rulings. And a person will do that with full confidence. One does that with full confidence. So the question we're discussing concerning the ahadith that relates to al-asma wa sifat. Ahadith, akhbar, that is ahad, that have come to us. If they are authentic, fulfill the criteria of authenticity of hadith al-maqbool, of the ulama, that the ulama mentioned, that is a hadith that they can be used regarding affirming to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala names and attributes. So they can be used as a dalil. Contrary to those people mentioned that hadith ahad regarding asma wa sifat can't be used. That per se, that view is false. That view is false. So if a hadith have reached us and is authentic, then whatever information contained, it can be used, including information regarding matters relating to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala names and attributes, and matters concerning aqidah in general. So that's concerning that particular point. As mentioned by An-Nawawee rahimahullah قال إن التفريق عند احتجاج بسنة. So he mentioned the meaning concerning that in id at-tafriq, concerning that, as for this differentiation regarding ihtijaj, using as a source of evidence the sunnah bayna mutawatir wal ahad, by distinguishing between that using as the evidence regarding ahadith that are said to be mutawatir and ahadith that are said to be ahad, bid'ah. He said this is a bid'ah. As some people make that distinction, that ahadith al-mutawatir are one that can be used regarding aqidah, and ahadith which is ahad cannot be used, or as a general proof. Then all this is something which is batil. All this is batil, and it mentioned concerning that is the view of the Mu'tazila, and also lam ya'rifuha as-sahaba wa salaf as-salih. And this tafriq, this distinction regarding hadith ahad and mutawatir, distinguishing them as a source of evidence, this is not known amongst the Salaf from the Sahaba, nor from the A'immatil min al-Qurun al-Mufaddala. So, in a nutshell, or in summary, regarding concerning matter that relates to a hadith, regarding concerning that al-asma wa sifat, then any hadith that have come to us that has been authenticated, whether the hadith is considered to be classed within mutawatir or sunnah ahad, the fact that it's authentic, then we can use it. It can be used as a proof regarding any matters regarding ad-deen, whether concerning halal and haram or matters concerning al-i'tiqad. So in this case, concerning a hadith ahad can be used as a proof regarding matters concerning to affirm to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala names and attributes. Also regarding matter concerning al-asma wa sifat, that names that are unbefitting, then those names are, we should free Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala anything which is unbefitting. And we want to stick to those names and attributes that have been mentioned by way of Quran or Sunnah. So we rely and stick to those names and attributes that have been mentioned by way of Quran or Sunnah regarding Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and not to go outside of this. Not to go outside of this. So, and also you might find regarding Asma wa Sifat, certain hadith that mention certain names that may be classed as being of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but those hadith are not authentic. Also, those ones are not to be used. So any hadith that discusses or mention a name that is not, and the hadith itself is not authentic, then it should not be used. It cannot be used as a proof to affirm that particular name. So you might have certain names that are mentioned that there's no hadith to prove them. For example, Jalil. As an example, Rashid is Rashid, Jalil, from the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So those things that require, one is the hadith authentic regarding the use of some of those names. And with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asma, then also the person can make supplication with them, use them as a form of in his supplication to use them as a within his supplication. So those are general things regarding Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala names and attributes. Then the second part that he mentioned, Inna Allah tayyib, la yuqbal illa tayyib. So the second part of the sentence mentioned concerning regarding that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not accept but that which is good and pure. So from this it showed regarding and concern that that regarding Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have certain criteria regarding what he accepts and what he does not accept. Now and those things regarding at-tayyib, regarding what is acceptable with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it falls into aqwal, it falls into i'tiqad, and also regarding af'al. So regarding those things that are accepted with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it falls regarding regarding things of our belief, things regarding our actions, things regarding our statements. All of these things fall into this. So regarding concerning la yuqbal illa tayyib, regarding Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only accept that which is good. And those things which are good that there, those things in general said, those things that are within the Sharia. So those things were said to be tayyib, which is maqbool in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, are things that are within the guidance of the Sharia. And qabul al-amal in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they mention concerning shurut al-qabul in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, shartan, is two conditions. What are they? First, al-ikhlas, that the act that is being done, that is done for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and not being done because the person wants any form of recognition from an-nas, or glorification, or to be pat on the back. So the person doing an act that with his intention, that he's doing it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not that he's doing it because he wants, because of those other benefits. But the act is done only for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If those other thing comes, that's something which is not by his will or by what he intends. So the first al-ikhlas, al-amal lillah, and the second the person also al-mutabiya, that also the second the second ittiba as-sunnah, that a person also have to stick to that, carry that act according to the sunnah. So regarding al-qabul al-amal, that a person have to have ikhlas, and that will mean the person have to, and that will mean the person have to look concerning is belief. If I'm sincere to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala regarding my Islam, the things that I believe in regarding my belief, my i'tiqad, my iman, is it in line with what is in the Quran and the Sunnah? Is it in line with that which is in the Quran and the Sunnah regarding al-iman billah wa malaikati and his angels, wa kutubi wa rusuli wal yawm al-akhir wal qadr khayrihi wa sharri. So all those matters regarding al-iman, usul iman and sit, those 6 matters regarding iman, that a person regarding concern, that a person has to kind of somewhat to review to see if he wants these things to be accepted, that it is done, that those things that his belief is in line with the Quran and the Sunnah. And that would also include regarding that the person affirmed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala regarding names and attributes that is befitting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as mentioned in the Quran and the Sunnah. And also the person regarding concerning that is actions that they're in line with the Sunnah. Man amila amalan laysa li amruna fahuwa rad. The one who doesn't act that is not according to ours, then it is refuted. It is rejected. So the person regarding any act that is being carried out, whether by way of salah, siyam, or what the person wants to do as a good deed, the person that ensure that that act is according to the Sunnah. That act is according to the sunnah. So also from this, as we mentioned in the next part of the hadith concerns, that a person might have certain things in place that seems to his benefit. He said, I'm doing the thing with ikhlas, I'm doing the act according to the sunnah, but what is apparent but the person might have other things that may concern mawana. The person might bring certain things that may block the act from being acceptable, even though certain things are there in place, but there's other things that will impede that act from being acceptable. Clear? And those things will be discussed concerning the hadith also. He described some of those things that can impede, can block an act from being accepted. Even though other certain things are there that are to his advantage. But there's also things that he has as baggage, that are now blocking, become a barrier to from his deeds being accepted because of those barriers. So for the person always to check and to review himself, to critique himself. Am I doing things in all aspects according to what is expected from me, and not carrying concerning extra baggage that can impact on my act being accepted. So and that will be discussed further inshallah tabarak ta'ala. Then I mentioned regarding concerning this matter. So as from this mention concerning a person that he has to kind of somewhat that review regarding concerning the act that he's doing, that is it is pure without ikhlas. He review the act that is done according to the sunnah, according to the sharia. Also that he avoids of those things that will mufsidat, those things that will interrupt the act from being accepted or stop that act from being accepted. So the person has to be mindful of those things. And sometimes those things may be things that a person overlook. Things that a person may overlook regarding that that there's other things that are, as I said, behind the scenes that a person is not mindful of. The person might have riyah, sum'ah. He's doing things because in reality, he wants to get some recognition. And after that, the person may do something, but he's quick to remind everyone of the good that he did, because he wants everyone to know that I did this. The person should try to avoid this. And the person do a good deed, the person said, where the person that you present, the person did something for individual, I said, no, bil ikhlas. But a person on the other side, he didn't thank you. Don't make that, do not make that, you understand, affect what you did. For the person didn't thank you, that a person did show his thank you or recognize you, the fact that you did it for that reason, khalas, you have done your part. As for what the person did, for what they did, that's with them. As for what they do, that's with them. But not per se that you expect some type of recognition. You do because you want to expect some form of gratitude to be shown to you. The person thank you. You did something good. You give the person £50 because he's in need. Khalas. When you say that thank you, say thanks you or not, you move on. Now you move on because your intention was, I want to give him this money. You do so is to do your part and leave the other part to him. So that's concerning that particular hadith. Then the hadith mentioned, continued by mention concerning that Inna Allah amara al-mu'minin bima amra bihi al-mursalin faqal ya ayyuha ar-rusul kulu min at-tayyibat wa'amilu as-salihat. Then it mentioned concerning the hadith mentioned concerning that Inna Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he commanded, instructed concerning al-mu'minin bima amra bihi al-mursalin. That's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instructing from the Anbiya, the Mursaleen. So it's concerned this instruction is not something that it is meant for all believers, and also the Rusul. So with that, inshallah ta'ala, with this part we'll end for today, and inshallah ta'ala we'll continue next week regarding the remaining end of the benefit that can be taken from this particular hadith, which is hadith al-ashir, the 10th hadith in this collection by Imam An-Nawawee rahimahullah. So we'll continue next week to complete what we have started. So with this inshallah ta'ala will end. وبالله تعالى توفيق وهادي إلى سبيل والآخرة والحمد لله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Okay.
Someone, there was a